I'm actually in the process of selling my home, and I had to sell out of state, so I'm not licensed here and I'm using a realtor here. And I don't want you to make these same 4 huge mistakes that I did. So watch this video. I'm going to tell you how to prevent those so you can make the most money when you sell. The very first one, know your timeline. So whenever we were going to sell, it was really just kind of a rush thing. I knew the market was getting ready to shift, so I wanted to hurry up and get it listed and get all these things done. There were several things that I had to do that I did not plan out, so we knew there were some things that needed to be cleaned up, some repairs that needed to be made, things like that, and I was just in such a rush, I didn't give us enough time to get these done in a timely fashion. And then on top of that, I knew my house had to be deep cleaned. I was going to pay somebody to deep clean it, but I set her up so early on in the process instead of waiting until that very last minute. So my house went several days without even any showings in this perfectly spotless, clean condition. And if you have kids, you know how difficult that is. So I was really kicking myself for that one. I wish I had pushed her back just a little bit. And then also with the photography. So we wanted the photography to be done after it was cleaned, obviously, so it would look good. But then we were in such a frantic rush to try to get the pictures edited, put them up on the website. Like, it was just a really big cluster, and the timeline was terrible. So if you want to save yourself some stress, make sure you have it planned out. Meet with your realtor ahead of time, because I kind of waited until the last minute for that too. I wanted them to come when the house was ready and didn't have a whole lot of things left to do, and I should have met with them earlier so we could have got the plan going and we could have had this thing a heck of a lot better planned out. Number 2, professional photos. And guys, this one, I'm really kicking myself in the head for this, because I preach professional photos. I know that most home searches start online, and online they're going to see photos, and obviously professional photos are going to look a heck of a lot better than one's Billy Bob, that's not it either. Billy Bob look a heck of a lot better than those Billy Bob took and just stuck on the internet. And this is people's first impression, and you want them to be able to see themselves in there. So take that time and spend the money on getting professional photos. Now, in my defense, I'm a very loving wife, and my husband was trying out photography, and he wanted to take his hand at taking some photos. And even though I tried to warn him that, hey, real estate photos are a totally different ball game than regular photos, we let him have a whirl at it, but it was a disaster. I mean, not that his photos were a disaster, I'm not saying that, but it was just that there's a difference. There's a difference in an amateur taking pictures and a professional who has this as her job. And when we listed these photos, you could tell there were crickets, because the pictures just did not do justice to our house. So make sure you take that time and start off on the right foot. Number 3, open houses. Okay, guys, let me be really frank with you real quick. Open houses do not sell your house. Like, all kinds of buyers throughout my career have begged for open houses, and they love them, and they just want to do them because they think that it brings so many buyers to their house. It doesn't. Open houses are a great way for realtors to find new buyers and to get more clientele. But as far as you, the chances of them finding that buyer from your open house are just super slim.
Okay, just hit me with it. I've driven a long way, so just level with me. What are my chances?
I mean, they're not good.
So you saying like 1 in 100?
More like 1 in a million.
Saying there's a chance. Yes!
But our realtor wanted to do these open houses. So their plan was every Saturday until the house is under contract, we're going to hold an open house for 3 hours. And initially I was like, well, you know, this is opening weekend. We should have so many buyers that are coming out wanting to see our house that, yeah, that would make perfect sense for me. Well, remember back to when I told you about the photos? We had crickets. We had 1 person show up. So 3 hours, and I've got 2 kids and a dog that I'm having to keep outside at a park in the heat for this open house. And we got 1 person to come through. So it was a total waste of time for us. It does not make sense. I told them I didn't want to do any more open houses because I wasn't going to leave my house and totally take off for 3 hours just to have 1 person come through. They could just schedule it at their own convenience. And really, if it's a pre-approved buyer, they're going to schedule it. If they want to see your house, they're going to set up with their real estate agent or contact your real estate agent, and they're going to find a way to see your house. They don't need an open house. Now, if you have nothing to do or if you've got a vacant house, go for it. It doesn't hurt a thing to have them, but just being real with you, they're not needed. And if you want to save yourself some stress, I suggest maybe you could let them do the 1, but they're really not needed. Number 4, pre-screen those buyers. And I'm not talking about making sure they're approved, because that's obvious. Obviously, you're not going to take any offer unless they're pre-approved and you've seen that pre-approval letter and you know that they're good for the thing. Your agent should also be calling the lender to make sure, hey, they really are good to go, they're very pre-qualified, all this stuff. But I mean setting realistic expectations. We did get one offer and we knew the offer wasn't super strong, like they needed a little bit of help with closing costs. So we agreed to that, but we wanted to make sure they knew that we were not going to pay the closing costs and come in and fix all these little things in the house. Like, we wanted them to be realistic with us. So I communicated that through the realtor. She communicated that to them. Oh yeah, that's fine. They're not picky at all. Like, it'll be really easy. So I thought that we had pre-screened them, and I thought we had been very preventative in making sure we were all on the same page. However, no, that was not the case. On my roof, there was a little bit of evidence where some hail had been, but I got a roofer out here. The roof doesn't need to be replaced. There was not a big deal. They totally backed out and walked away because of that. So I thought I had them pre-screened, and I thought I had set really good expectations with them. I don't know where the communication went, if it was between the realtors or something happened, but make sure that you really express this. For my own clients, I've never had an issue with this. I've expressed our expectations and they've always been met, and they've always gone through the deal and we knew what to expect. But in this case, I got the rug pulled out. So make sure you have those realistic expectations, clearly define what you're willing to do, and go into this knowing, if I'm going to concede on some closing costs, I'm not willing to concede over here. Or hey, if I get a great above, asking offer, I may be willing to do a couple of things. But have that in your mind so you know which way to go. If you have enjoyed this video, make sure you check out this one right here, where I tell you some of the big things that you could do that will help increase your appraisal value when you're selling your home. As always, I'm your unicorn real estate agent, helping you turn your home dreams into reality.